A very good afternoon. Welcome to UBC Lunchtime News with me, Sharon Chomdisha. Today, the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has made considerable strides in raising awareness among local governments to ensure businesses comply with the National Action Plan on Human Rights and Business Framework. Speaking at the 6th Annual Business and Human Rights Symposium, the Minister for Gender, Betty Amongi, emphasized the need to provide workers with a safe and supportive working environment.
Businesses in Uganda have cases of violating human rights, so the 6th Annual Business and Human Rights Symposium aims to build responsible businesses.
I went into a place, a workplace, where they produce some bottles for package, but the heat level is too high. And those people did not have any protective gear. They are working with electricity. And when I asked, why don't they have protective gears? Then they started saying, no, they got it, then they sold it.
The Minister for Gender and Social Development, Betty Amongi, says the ministry's efforts foster collaboration and drive positive change in the business and human rights landscape.
It's an annual symposium which is meant to bring together those working in areas of promoting and protecting the rights of workers within the business where they work, to strategize on how to implement and enforce this framework, how to innovate ideas that will ensure that we achieve the protection of the rights of workers.
This initiative also distinguishes between child work and child labor. The Chairperson Human Rights Commission, Mariam Wangadia, stressed the need for safeguarding children's rights in businesses where they are involved.
But we know that children do some work like in their homes. By the age of, I think, 7 years old, I was able to fetch water from the river and you wash utensils. But I was not able to dig, for instance.
If you give a 10-year-old to go and pluck tea or coffee from morning to evening, that now will be tantamounting to child labor.
This year's theme, Emerging Voluntary and Mandatory Frameworks, Strengthening Responsible Business Conduct in Uganda, highlights the ministry's commitment to protect workers' rights and promote a conducive working environment. Cayenne Faith for UBC.
Stakeholders have called on government to create an enabling environment for journalists to carry on their work without interference. During the International Day to End Impunity among journalists, concerns were drawn towards the growing indiscriminate impunity among journalists and other members of society. Now, this has been mainly orchestrated by increased corruption, political influence, lack of effective legislation, and conflicts, among others. This has been seen by many journalists, and they're opting out for the profession, while others have decided to work in hiding and compromise.
Deployed into such environments.
Has a story, so they will run to police. So that journalists and all stakeholders on board.
To ask ourselves very serious questions when it comes.
Like that for quite long. It's time we stop.
The limited knowledge on the Human Rights Enforcement Act by most of the players. So we need more robust sensitization of both the public and the wananchi, the ordinary people, about how this law works and how it can help in netting down the individual perpetrators of a lot of violence and abuses on journalists.
The role is to inform the public or citizens about things that are happening, and you are operating in an environment which wants citizens not to know things, then you should expect what will happen to you.
The thing that everybody must do, that all of us collectively must do, is to speak against and act against any form of violence that comes in our electoral processes. To create an awareness amongst all the actors that an election is not a war.
To keep reminding the world about the importance of safety of journalists. And of course the press is very important as a source of education and a source of communication. Even for development issues you need to communicate, you need the press people, you need the media. And so it is important that we pay attention to the safety of the people who work in the media industry.
Serious, we really want to stamp out impunity. I know, for example, that there was an officer who was caught beating up a journalist. I know they charged him in a criminal court. I know I think at the end of the day lost his I don't want to mention names, but justice has already been what? Served. If you don't come out and speak, then we shall never know what really happened. Number two, journalists should also work with the police, especially in highly volatile situations.
Director of Research at the National Coffee and Cocoa Research Institute, Dr. Geoffrey Ntale, has highlighted the importance of empowering young people in environmental protection. Dr. Geoffrey Ntale disclosed this at the National Debate on Climate Change, embraced by different institutions in Chambogo, aimed at gaining insights into climate change management. The initiative underscored the interdependency of communities, corporations, and ecosystems.
Currently, we're struggling with climate change. And you see the debate is looking at climate change, mitigation and adaptation. That was the gist of the matter in the debate. If we can give tools, skills and innovation of climate change management to the majority of the people in this country, we know as they grow, they put these tools and practices in place, and they can participate in modifying the climate change effect, assuring Uganda of climate smart future. When you look at the people degrading the wetlands, making mistakes on this land, how old are they? Give them a few years and the majority of the population is in charge. All this can be reversed. I told you the ingredient, public speaking, debating. In future, I promise you, these children, these students will be in big positions. And if they are convinced that what they are listening to, what they are campaigning for, which is climate change management, mitigating the changes that are likely to happen, adapting to the changes that have already taken place, I tell you they can do much than what the old people are doing to destroy our environment.
We have focused on climate change because everyone is aware of the challenges of climate change. We have had lots of floods, we have had lots of heavy rains, we have had severe drought, lack of water in very many places, and all those are brought about by human activity that has degraded the environment and brought about these challenges of climate change. Yeah, the long-term vision for this is that not only are we doing debating, we're only engaging young people to come up with innovations. Because we had people who were here the other time, they were exhibiting this, what they have been able to innovate, like in terms of climate smart agriculture, some value addition done to food for it to last longer in case of droughts or severe rains. What can be done by these people doing to agriculture to make sure there is food that can sustain the masses in times of extreme need.
In more news, Arua District is set to relocate its headquarters from Arua City Centre to Vura Sub-County in Adumi, 4 years since Arua City was established and consumed part of Arua District in Aivu. Now, the additionally Minister of Local Government is also set to gazette Adumi, where the district headquarters is as a town council. Every quarter of the financial year, Arua District receives 250 million Ugandan shillings for a period of 4 years to have the headquarters complete.
What was a bit hazy at the beginning is becoming very, very clear now in terms of developing this place to Dumi. the Commissioner for Urban Development was here to see that he collected the basic facts to gazette this headquarters, the town council. The town council is going to be gazetted next week. So this is going to be record set for Arua district. As I talk now, here today the team is doing the technical works here in terms of locating where the roads will be at the district headquarters, and that will be done. That will be followed by pegging, and after the road networks, we will now come in handy to hand over the site to the contractor identified by the district to start the construction works here at district headquarters. So the construction here is going to be a calculated one. What we want is the contractor to construct for us the engineering section only, because what is going to be here is a storage building. We will first of all accommodate heads of departments in that structure until our storage building is done, because this is going to be a one-stop shopping center for Arua district. The UN family, all they are going to come here. UN family, we are allocating for them 5 acres here. So that is enough for UN family to be here. UN agencies, including UNHCR, including World Food Program, Plan International, Save the Children Fund, and all of them will be here. And also I call upon the people of Arua district to be very, very happy now that the district is gradually coming home. So we should receive it with both hands.
As Primary 7 candidates prepare to start the primary leaving examinations, they were reminded to follow the rules and avoid malpractice. This was during the candidates' briefing exercise ahead of the examinations. Take a look.
Members, that was James. Teacher James, you're most welcome.
Cross you. So make sure they are there on every answer that you attempt, that you come to an end. You conclude it with the unit. Are you getting? Yes. So that is what I had.
And we have encouraged our learners to go there out and perform very well, to have confidence. We have managed to cover the syllabus. We have covered all the necessary work which is needed for them to pass. So I take this chance also to thank all my teachers for the work that they have done.
Batesetese bulungi era abasomesa basomeseza byonna ebyetaaga okusomesebwa. Syllabus bazimaze, buli kimu kyonna kiwedde. Tuteeseteese tulinze lunaku lwakusatu na lwakuna abaana batuweereza results ez'omulembe.
Era kati tukyalina kyonna kye tubanja, abasomesa bokka be batubanja okuyita obulungi.
Basomeseza bakaina tuma era tubebaza tusomesa tugenda kukola bulungi tufune bona fena tufune first grade kama abakumbi.
School management and candidates have expressed readiness ahead of the primary leaving examinations for the academic year 2024, which begins tomorrow.
Is a leveler. You should not mind so much about the status of your parents, but you focus on your own progress academically, because it opens doors for you. By the time people get to know who you are related to, you have built your own character. Of course, you need to provide more funding. The president has spoken several times about why UPE should actually be truly free, like totally free. But that means we need to have something from government in terms of funding. As Parliament, if we can get that proposal from government, we shall, as Parliament, support.
And I'm confident they'll perform very well. From the briefing, I've told them about the malpractice and how they should avoid. I've told them about how they should conduct themselves during the PRE exercise so that we have a smooth PRE exercise.
We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with more stories.
There is only one rule you must follow in order to be a winner. Number 1, defeat the undefeatable. You, step forward. I want you to box the air until it falls down. I'm not seeing it falling in. You see it falling in. Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Stake 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Stake 10. Sports Stake 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
The Ministry of Health informs the general public that there are some cases of Mpox detected in Uganda. The ministry, working with partners and affected district local governments, are doing their best to contain the situation. The signs and symptoms of Mpox are body rash, fever, general body weakness, headache, sore throat, nasal congestion or cough, and swollen lymph nodes. You can prevent yourself from getting infected with Mpox by avoiding close contact with people who have been confirmed to have Mpox or who have signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding touching or sharing personal items like beddings, eating utensils, phones, or other belongings of a person who has the signs and symptoms of Mpox. Avoiding contact, including eating, with all wild animals, alive or dead, especially those known to carry the virus, such as rodents and monkeys, and those that appear sick or have been found dead. Getting vaccinated if you're among those who have been identified to be at high risk of Mpox infection. Mpox is treatable and usually goes away after 2 to 4 weeks. However, it can be severe, causing even death, especially among children, pregnant women, and those with other health conditions. For more information and support, contact your nearest health worker. Call the Ministry of Health's toll-free line on 0800 100 066 or send a free SMS to YouReport on 8500.
Honorable Fred Biamukama, Minister of State for Works and Transport in charge of transport, invites you to the launch of the 4-acre model campaign in the Greater Chibale District's Bunyoro sub-region. The event will take place at Chikwaya Primary School Playground, Kakumiro District on November 15, 2024, starting at 10 a.m. and will be graced by His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni. All residents, civil servants and the leaders from the districts that make up Greater Chibale, Kakumiro, Chibale, Kagadi, Chikube and neighboring areas are encouraged to attend in large numbers. This initiative, led by the President, aims to bring ordinary people into the money economy by showcasing farmers who have succeeded in the 1-acre model, 2-acre model, 3-acre model and 4-acre model. Join local leaders and residents in learning how small land can be used to enhance food security and socio-economic growth. Don't miss this opportunity to witness the transformative impact on local communities.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. Still on UBC Lunchtime News, retired Luwero Diocese Bishop Eldera Nsubuga has urged the Ndeje SS students class of 2024 to emulate the wisdom of King Solomon and place their trust in divine guidance as they embark on their journeys to success. Take a look.
Bishop Nsubuga emphasized that by relying on God's wisdom through prayer before, during and after the exams, the students would demonstrate their faith in a power that can never fail. He encouraged the candidates to trust in God's direction for their academic success and future endeavors.
I believe we can recall Simon Peter's experience according to the Gospel of Luke, when Jesus found him with some other fishermen from the seashore of Lake Gennesaret. Leaning on his personal experience in fishing, Peter tried to argue with Jesus when Jesus told him to push the boat out further to the deep water and cast the nets.
The school's immediate past headmaster, Canon Dr. Charles Kaigiriza, also spoke at the event, sharing his support for the students. Canon Kayegiriza, now the University Secretary at Ndeje University, expressed his commitment to boosting the morale of his former students, encouraging them to press on with confidence.
Senko sent me an invitation to come and attend this function. And I accepted the invitation for the following reasons. One, I came to give you support.
Headmaster David Balaba Senkugu of Ndeje SS urged the students to take to heart everything they have learned at Ndeje and to continue seeking beneficial knowledge wherever they go, ensuring their future success.
We did not teach you resilience, we did not teach you all those good aspects. Even being patient. I've noticed that some people have already left from inside here. They have gone out. Those are the people we have prepared.
George Ongom, the chairman of the board of governors for Ndeje SS, rallied students to live up to the school's high academic standards and bring pride to Ndeje by performing excellently in their UNEB Senior 6 exams.
Ndeje is an academic giant in Uganda. We have enjoyed a peaceful atmosphere during our college and stay in Ndeje. The pedagogy has always been well delivered, your health has always been good, and the parents have done all they can to enable you learn and develop. You are therefore well prepared to succeed in the examination.
Known as the Mavericks for their unique approach to challenges, the 214 students of the Ndeje SS class of 2024 leave behind a lasting legacy in the form of a newly completed clock tower at the school. In recognition of their hard work, the school management awarded gifts to the class's star performers, while the Senior 6 leadership returned the favor by honoring their outstanding teachers.
The youth have been cautioned against promiscuity as this exposes them to risks including HIV and AIDS. And this was a message by Reverend Father Deogracius Chibi during Mass to dedicate Senior 6 candidates of St. Balikudembe SS Chisoga in Mukono District.
Schools, never shame us. You are holding flags of our schools. You have flags of our parents. You must defend your names, defend our schools, defend your parents, defend your friends, defend the priests and reverends who come to pastor you. Temutuswaza ngagendeyo. Oli obiwa kofuse minister mubera ababbi. Ofuse minister mubera ababbi. Ofuse MP mubera ababbi. God defend the values, the standards of Catholicity, the standards of religion, standards of Christianity. That's what standards of a good human being. Are we together? Love the Lord your God with all your heart. Spare time, go to church, go and pray daily.
Dear parents, let's teach our children to be honest in their life because they are tomorrow's country. An honest child really gives pride to the country. I thank the teachers for covering up the syllabus in time for preparing these children.
I've been dedicating our children, the Senior 6 candidates of 2024, into the hands of God. First of all, I wish to thank God for today. I wish to thank Father Chibi, who has been amidst us to bless our candidates. Unlike last year, this year's candidates are 308 compared to the 250 we had last year. We want to thank God that each year we keep on increasing our enrollment, and we are happy that today the sample space is wide. We put a target before our candidates that they must score at least minimum 5 students scoring maximum 20 points. And I want to say that they are well prepared for that, and I know the 20s are going to come this year.
Good luck to all the candidates. Now, on U.S. Election Day, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are neck to neck in a race closely watched across the nation. Over 82 million Americans have already cast their votes, reflecting a tight competition. Harris advocates for abortion rights and lowering living costs for working families, while Trump pledges stronger border security and extensive tax cuts. Both candidates wrapped up campaigns in pivotal swing states, with Harris in Pennsylvania and Trump in Michigan. Early results show a 3-3 tie in Dexfield, North New Hampshire. And of course, polls across 7 key swing states remain too close to call, with slight leads shifting by the hour.
It basically hasn't moved since Kamala Harris got in the race.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And good morning, George. Our final poll before the election has a 3-point lead for Kamala Harris nationally, 49 to 46. That's what we showed when we published the poll yesterday. We actually stayed in the field an extra day just to see if there's any late change. Identical. The race has barely budged, as you said, for the entirety of the race. All of that said, there's been some intriguing movement late in the battleground states. The latest and last New York Times Siena polls shows kind of the reverse image of what you might expect. Harris right now very narrowly ahead in Nevada, as well as North Carolina and Georgia. Those are must-win states if you're Donald Trump, and that's a little bit of a surprise. Meanwhile, the opposite is true in some of the battleground states that Harris has to win. Right now, a tied race in Pennsylvania, a tied race in Michigan. That's problematic for the Harris campaign, and it tells you why both campaigns are nervous. They still have to defend what should be safe territory in a very close race.
So Rick, let's break this down a little bit more. Let's talk about the gender gap, because former President Trump, of course, the clear favorite among men, while Kamala Harris, big lead among women.
Yeah, that's right, Robin. Our poll has Trump leading among men by 5 points, Harris up among women by 11. That's a 16-point gender gap, not far from what it is typically. But if you drill down a little bit more inside some subgroups, you see a bigger range. Among independents, that's a 22-point gender gap. Among voters under 30, among younger voters, that is a 45-point gap. That's a huge break for women under 30. That Harris lead is enormous. The fact that Trump has a tiny lead among men doesn't really weigh that out.
One other constant in this year's polls, Rick, the American people seem to be divided and super angry.
Yeah, boy, is that right. And you see it here. 74% of Americans say we are on the wrong track going into Election Day. That's an astounding number. It includes half of Harris supporters, 98% of Trump supporters. Wild numbers. And those are the kind of things that are just typically brutal for an incumbent party. But, of course, this is an unusual year in so many ways.
Yeah, and as we've been reporting, a huge number of people have already voted, Rick.
Yeah, some of these numbers, yeah, it's a big deal, Robin, because 78 million plus Americans have already voted, and it's going to take a while to count those votes. It's a record number of in-person early votes, but all those mail votes, those start to really pile up. Every state different. Georgia and North Carolina, for instance, we're expecting a relatively fast count. Some of the biggest Pennsylvania counties say they're going to handle things faster than last time, but very likely we're bleeding at least into Wednesday. Nevada and Arizona, meanwhile, they're probably not going to have final votes by the end of the week, and that is not a sign of anything being off. It's what state officials say to expect, especially if the margins in any of those places are really tight.
And that's what
From the sports world, as we gear up for the ICC Cricket World Cup Cricket Challenge League B Round 1 that bowls tomorrow, Wednesday, 6th of November 2024. The Uganda Cricket Challenge League B is a 2027 Cricket World Cup qualifier, and this first round that will be played in Uganda between 6th and the 16th of November 2024 will have 6 teams playing round-robin games. The games will be played at the Lugogo and Entebbe Cricket Ovals.
As you mentioned earlier, because Team Bahrain anthem, and you can remove your caps if you're wearing.
And that's all we had for you for now. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sharon Chondisha. Stay tuned for more programming coming your way on UBC TV, Inspiring Uganda.